Klay Thompson, mentioned it at the top of the show. We've been talking about it for the last 24 hours. That right Achilles tendon tear during a workout on Wednesday in Southern California. Thompson's agent, Greg Lawrence, told Woj that Thompson is expected to be fully recovered for the start of the 21-22 season, but gosh, that feels like a long way away. Woj also reports the Warriors are finalizing a trade to acquire Kelly Oubre for a 2021 protected first-round pick, which will become a second-round pick if they finish the regular season in the top 20. Now, Golden State will absorb Oubre and his $14.4 million expiring contract into a trade exception. It was fascinating. They only had about 36 hours to get this done, costing the franchise, and this is the huge number, guys. I want you to listen to this. $66 million extra dollars toward its historic luxury tax bill. So, Vince, I was going to say tax money aside, is trading Oubre enough to help fill the hole of losing Klay, but I don't even know how you put it aside because basically you're talking about adding a player who is not going to win you. That's not pushing you over the edge to a championship, and you're spending an extra, on top of his salary, an extra $66 million.
Well, that tells me that they're still trying to win now and still stay relevant. You know, they want to stay, you continue to make the playoffs and stay relevant and keep your stars. I mean, obviously you get Klay back the following year, but they feel like they have a good nucleus of guys, and you get a healthy Steph Curry back now. So I still see them making the bottom half of the playoffs, somewhere between 5 and 8. But I like to see them add a free agent like Avery Bradley if he opts out with the Lakers. Somebody like Avery Bradley as well to help with ball handling, and now maybe moving Steph to the 2 every now and then to be the shooter that they're missing from Klay Thompson. Not saying that Oubre is not the shooter, but you want Klay, you utilize Steph's lights-out shooting, so why not bring somebody like Avery Bradley who can now go and guard the best player on the other side as well? Perimeter
First of
player,
all,
let me say.
Huge commitment from the Warriors ownership. You know, for a year that's probably going to be a lost season in terms of championship contention, to pay whatever gazillion dollar figure you just mentioned, that's a real commitment. They didn't have to do it. It's a real commitment. Second of all, shout out to Klay Thompson. He's absolutely a beloved player across the league, one of my favorite players to watch. We are all hoping and praying that you recover. And as far as the Warriors, I think Oubre fits really well. He's a decent 3-and-D player. His shooting ticked up a little bit last year. We'll see if that's real. His defense can get a little better, but I think he fits well. And also, he's only 24. They can re-sign him. He can be part of the future, and they can figure out whether he or Andrew Wiggins is the more valuable player as they go down the line. And there's been a lot of conversation in the last 2 days about whether this is the end of the Warriors. And it might be. It might be the end of the Warriors as a championship contender. But all this stuff about, do they look to trade Steph? Do they look to blow it up? To me, that is way too premature. This is Stephen Curry. This is the kind of guy who can be a lifer, a 3-time champion already on one team. I think you just hit pause for a little bit. Let's shove. I know all stars move around and they all get traded here and there. I just think Stephen Curry is a different kind of situation given the equity he has in Golden State. And let's just hold in place for this year, roll it back next year, see what the team looks like. Can you get one more run out of it?
Yeah, Oubre, I think he's a fine young player, but it makes me think, what type of style do you see the Warriors playing this year? They don't have the luxury of the shooters without Klay Thompson. Obviously, they don't have Kevin Durant. And how much of a load is going to be put on Steph Curry? Is he going to have to play like a James Harden type of role just to help this team get into the playoffs? Who knows what's going to happen with the development of Andrew Wiggins? They have the talent to be a playoff team. And no, they're not contenders with this move, but they put themselves in a position that they could be one player away, maybe an all-star or superstar back in the lineup to put themselves there. But, Oubre, while he's a fine player, he doesn't put them over the top, especially with the loss of Klay Thompson.
Well, guys, that's why I kind of said
I'm
something
very
about
impressed.
Getting a point guard or like an Avery Bradley or somebody who can handle the ball and now utilize Steph's ability to shoot the ball and, run off screens a little bit, because I agree with you, Paul. Like, who will they be? What is their identity now? So I think, if you're going to have Steph there, use them in different ways. Put them in different parts of the floor outside of just being the point guard.
Well, I'm super impressed with Warriors ownership for making this move, at least making the season better for their fans. And by the way, the government in San Francisco, just at least for now, rejected their plan to test fans coming in the building so they could have increased fans. That's not going to happen. So that revenue, at least right now, is not going to come in for them. And they made this decision anyway. We'll see what or if they do next. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.